It's Shalene, and this is Friday Reads. So, I don't know about all of you, but I've been getting a lot of reading time in and all library books because I'm going to take advantage of the weather now that I'll make it to the library because I don't drive hardly at all in the winter time. So, I don't like always having my husband having to go back and forth to the library for me. So, I will use the library now and then a little bit in the winter depending on the weather. So, this is what I've read since my last time. And so the first book I read was Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. I gave this a 3 star. I was a little bored with this. It's mostly politics and the military. I was expecting, there's pieces of like giants that are metal, and they were taken apart and distributed all throughout the earth back a long, long time ago, and they're starting to discover them, and so they're putting them back together to see what to do with. And I really wanted to know more about this. I was hoping they would get into more of the giants, but it was mostly politics and the military, so I was not real thrilled with this one. And then the next book I read was The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torrey, and I gave this a 4 star. This was really good. It has a lot of sex in it, and it has to do with this woman, and she never ever leaves her apartment because if she leaves the apartment, she will kill someone. So she has a neighbor that locks her on the outside door so she can't leave during the night because that's when most of her impulse is. And she makes all of her money doing videos online of sex, her having sex with herself with sex toys, dressing up for guys watching her on the internet. So that's how she makes all of her money. And she makes a lot of money. And everything she owns, she has to order online. Well, she ends up having to leave the apartment for a reason. And it goes from there. And I really, really like this. I think it was well written. I'm surprised I really like it. I don't mind the sex in books. This was done tastefully. I thought it was pretty good. I recommend this one. And then I read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. And oh my god, this was so good. I gave this a 5 star. I don't even know how to describe this. Lily is the main character in this, and she comes from an abusive family. And she gets away from it, and well, while she was still younger, she ended up realizing that someone was in an abandoned house next door, and that ends up being a senior from her school. He's new to the school, and he didn't have a home. He's homeless. So she helps him out. Say hi, Pearl. Say hi, Pearl. Show them you got 5 fingers. So I love her. My son wanted her back there, and his girlfriend wanted her back the other day, and I said, no, you don't get her back. She's mine now. She's always on me when I'm reading, and she's in my video. So I told them she couldn't have her back, and they were fine with that. Anyways, I loved this book. She goes back. She goes on in her life, goes to college, gets a good job, and she meets a guy, and she gets married. And then the person from her past also comes back, and it's really, really good. This is my third Colleen Hoover. The first one I read, I wasn't real fond of, and that was called Finding Cinderella. And then the second book I read was Confess, which I really, really liked. But this one, oh my gosh, the feelings. I laughed and I cried. And when I got done reading this, I could not pick up another book for a few hours. I just couldn't. It just left me. It just mush. I just loved it. And then this morning, I finished The Divorce Party by Laura Dave. And I would give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Um, this has to do with this couple. They've been married for 35 years and they're getting divorced because he decides he wants to get into Buddhism. And so they throw a divorce party because that's the in thing, I guess, with all their friends. So they have a pretty messed up life. Their daughter is pregnant with some guy, and it doesn't sound like he will be there for her. And then their son is is engaged to someone, but he's keeping secrets from her and has been keeping secrets from her, and those have come to surface. And this is like a dysfunctional family. And I'm glad I read this. Gwen W, I believe it is, recommended this book, so I'm glad I read this. But it only took me a couple hours to read because there wasn't a lot of pages. And then tonight I finished The First Husband by Laura Dave, and this one I liked much better. The main character in this is Annie, and she meets up. She's living with a guy, and she has a column in a paper, but she travels constantly. And her boyfriend travels constantly, he's in the movie business. So they're never together, and then finally one day he says he's done, he's met someone else. So she moves on with her life, and she ends up meeting someone, and she gets married and settles down, and yeah, it goes from there. And I really liked this. I thought it was good. I would give this one a 3-star also, just because it's a short story, quick read. But I recommend this one too. 5 stars for me is one that makes me laugh and cry and makes me a mess. 4-star is one that I can put down, but I need to pick it up right away, and will leave lasting impressions also, not as much as a 5. And then a 3-star is one that I really like, but I would never pick it up again. So yeah, that's what I've read so far. And these 3 books also are part of the hashtag Read Your Shelf Bookathon, which started Tuesday night at midnight, Monday morning or Wednesday morning. So, and it lasts through the September 7th at midnight. So these are my first 3 books that I've read for that. And then I'm hoping to read through all of next week. Tonight and all through next week is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Faking Normal by Courtney C. Stevens. Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. Before the Fall by Noah Hawley. And I Darken by Kirsten White. These I've all heard good things about. I will be gone from like Saturday afternoon till Monday afternoon. So, and I probably won't get much reading, if I get any reading in, where my husband and I are going to, with another couple who own a cabin. It's about a 2-hour drive, and they own a cabin down in PA. So we're going to go there for the weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, so just going to party a little bit, and that's what I'm doing for the holidays. I have no other plans for the holidays, just that. And it's a relaxing weekend. There's no TV, there's no internet, and limited access to our cell phones. So you have to find a couple spots out in their yard in order to use it. So it's a relaxing weekend, which is nice, especially for my husband. He works 2 jobs and doesn't take vacations. So yeah, that's what we're doing, and that's what I'm reading. And what do you have planned to read? Are any of you doing the hashtag Rizbot? If so, let me know what books you've read or what you plan on reading. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.